Um, in terms of the next tool that we're going to move on to is something called Tome. So Tome is can be accessed by going to the URL at the top here. So tome.app. Now Tome is an AI tool for generating and creating kind of presentations. So historically, where we might have used kind of PowerPoint or something similar, we can get Tome to go and create us a deck, a slide deck based on information that we feed into it. So it will use a combination of tools and putting the content together. So obviously, in terms of the presentation piece, it's using Tome. It integrates with ChatGPT in terms of creating some of the content that sits behind there. But it also integrates with a different tool called DALL-E, which is an image generation tool. And in terms of the next tool, we're going to show you actually where Microsoft have kind of brought that live already. But in terms of Tome, say if you go to tome.app, what we can do here is I can go and create a new presentation. Now there are some templates in there that you can kind of go and use as some basic ones, or we can just go and create one from scratch. So in this case, when I go to create, it gives me an options of things that I might want to do. And again, feel free to kind of go and create an account and have a play around with this. It gives you some credits in terms of doing some things. So, you know, either turning a document into a presentation. We're going to create in this case, we're going to create a presentation about some information that we're going to feed into there. But there's lots of different articles or just things like creating images, etc. In terms of the purpose of today, we're going to create a presentation about, and a bit like ChatGPT, we're now going to feed it some information of what we want it to create a presentation about. So what I've kind of put together here is some text that I want to use. So I'm just going to feed it some basic information in here, and this is perhaps going to be about launching our company values. So AAG, we have 5 core values that we buy to, which is kind of accountable, adaptable, growth, innovative, even, and togetherness. And I'm just going to give it some really basic information. This is kind of a snapshot of some detail. But with just a small amount of info, I can say, oh, I want it to go, and so I'm going to say, oh no, that's not the right one. Can't be doing something live. Just go back. Create a presentation about.
That's the you're a braver man than me to do live demos, you see, Charlie. That's the thing. I decided to to play it safe. So, but that's that's the truth. It's the reality. These tools do not always do everything. The internet doesn't always work. But it's really I've used it to create kind of, again, similar to the stuff I mentioned with Neuron, right? Like the frame. It's very good for the kind of baseline. And I think in a lot of jobs and tasks you do, it's sometimes I find it's that first step that's the hardest. And in the end, the slides might not look nothing like what they created originally, but it gives me that starting point. And I think that's quite powerful when you're kind of having to create a presentation from scratch.
Type this in.
Yeah, you might have to just go manual.
Yeah, my whole old adage there of going to copy and paste doesn't seem to like it. So in this case, what do I want to do? So I want to create a presentation launching So I'm just perhaps going to keep it really simple off the back of that, rather than feeding any more info at this stage. So now, if I just press enter, what this will kind of go away and do. Did I do create a page or create a presentation? I've done create a page about. So, right, I knew this was a mistake. Should have been on create a presentation about. Apologies about this, everyone. Okay, let's just make it even easier. Let's go back to there. Create a presentation about the benefits of AI. Once I've selected the right options. So again, you can feed this kind of more detailed information in there, but actually I'm just going to go for some really basic information of, what are the benefits of AI. And you can see it's created me kind of 6 headline slides. And if I press continue, it will go and generate this slide deck automatically for me. So it's going to go and pull content from using things like ChatGPT, and it's starting to give me some, really useful information that gives me that starter for 10, as Neil was saying. So it's not necessarily the finished article, but it gives me a real nice foundation to start to build from. So it's going to create me a series of 8 slides, and again, kind of scrolling through that. Again, these headlines with the information that sits off the back of it, looks fairly useful as a starting point in terms of this particular subject matter. But I might then want to kind of go in and customize it. So in terms of kind of information within the slide deck itself, again, this perhaps looks a little bit wordy to me, so I might want to just change that and summarize it. So with Tome, I can go and highlight that text, and I can do an AI edit against it, and I can perhaps I might want to adjust the tone of it, which I can either change the language styling within there, but actually I just might want to reduce it, and actually just make that a little bit easier to read. And I can start to kind of tweak and tailor these slides. I can still go and manually type in and add my own individual content in there. But what it's also done is kind of generated me an image next to that slide deck as well. Now, I think out of the box, the images are a little bit out there, but we can go and kind of customize and tailor these as well. So, and we can, and again, this will kind of be shown in the next tool that we're going to show you, is that actually that image I don't particularly like. I'd rather change it to something else. So I can go into the image settings, and if I go to create, this was the prompt that the AI tool had used to create this image here in the first place, which I can completely go and change. Now, let's go for something really even not relevant to AI. I can ask this to create an image of something completely random, and you kind of your imagination is the only thing that's really restricting you here. So I could perhaps say, an image. I want an image of a goose fixing a computer. Let's go for something really random and stupid. So if I now click on generate, using the AI tool that sits within this presentation, hopefully within a few seconds, I'll get some image suggestions of a goose fixing a computer. And there we go. So again, your kind of imagination is the only thing that's here. And again, I can go and pick that image, and I can just kind of drop that into the slide deck. Really quite useful in terms of a start of 10. You can then kind of go and share this slide deck. Once you've done it and you're happy with it, you can add video content in here. You can add kind of GIF images. You can really kind of get really quite customized in terms of the look and feel of these slides and what they do. But just a really nice, quick, easy tool in terms of creating a presentation deck.